Welcome, good people. You saw us. Was it yesterday? Gee, it feels like a long time ago. Did you check out your Binance coin? Oh, you knew we were going to say that. BNB, yes, we'll go later to the charts and we'll show you what happened there. People were complaining they were late. Oh, you're telling us late. You kept it with your community for a week. Now we're hearing late. It's $142. It's too much. Yep. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. Give us a like and a share, by the way, if you enjoyed the BNB call. Some of you may have made some good dollars on there. We hope so. That's the part and parcel of the game, because you'll be joining us and getting the calls earlier, better, and learning how to do it for yourself, and participating with other like-minded, highly, what's the word? Up and coming smart individuals, many of them tech engineers and all sorts of that. Our beautiful community, so grateful to have them. We were talking through this morning through a number of things. It started with a little bit of a look at BitcoinCash. Yes, that one that everybody loves to hate a little bit. And then we decided, no, we moved on and we mined across a whole bunch of tokens. And I want to tell you something that some of the tokens we'll be talking about today, which will be our possible movers for the weekend. Well, the best at the moment, Bitcoin is doing just sterling. I thought maybe we'll get another rising wedge out of it. It's just shooting. I'll show you that on the charts. We'll start with the God market. We always do. But the other tokens that I'm going to go through here are actually more of the ignored out of favor ones. You're not going to win any cool points talking about them, I thought, today. So I better have a different jacket because they're kind of like yesterday's heroes that have lagged. And it's interesting that they all appear to be set up. So what this tells me is there's a groundswell of money coming in. The real leaders, the people that have been going of the new era leaders are ADA, DOT, and of course, Binance Coin, now the super fast, super cheap chain sending money, blah, 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 blah. Binance Smart Chain, also lovely. Push. So it's become new and fresh again. But what about some of those that once were heroes? So we're going to discuss the Bitcoin forks today and the looky-likey. So that is BitcoinCash, BitcoinSV. Everyone's going to hiss and spit when you say that name. Most people do. I don't know. I've no dog in the fight, but we're going to look at that. We're going to look at Litecoin. So those are the looky-likey Bitcoin fork type tokens. None of those are particularly super cool. Litecoin's kind of neutral. People are like, they stayed friends with Bitcoin. They're kind of similar, kind of whatever, but they didn't want to fight. The other two are like fighters, so it's like, the anti-Bitcoin tokens. So you aren't going to win cool points for talking about those. We don't care. It's about making money. Are they setting up for a trade? We'll cover that. And then other ones that were a little bit of yesterday's heroes, a little bit that might have lost a little bit of the way in the recent reshuffling of the crypto market cap, which we'll also check in with before we go into the charts. So I'll also be checking in with Link, which is kind of fallen a bit back compared to some of the others, but still pretty cool. One that was a hero during the bear market, EOS, that was left behind. We'll also have a look at Lumen. These are some of the older names that you're hearing that, as I say, not exactly sizzling, not exactly got the hype train behind them necessarily near as much, but they do seem to be setting up. Also having a look at Zcash. ZECUSD. That's kind of on a privacy front. It's notable that Monero is still staying in that top 20. I'm always happy to see that. And actually, after Binance on one or two of the days was actually second or third mover. So it's keeping in the top 20. It's not allowing itself to fall over. Zcash also kind of in the privacy space. We'll talk about Zcash and how it's set up. Beware now, that's not the most liquid nowadays, some of these tokens. So this is a smorgasbord. You've got to apply your rules for liquidity. How many can I buy? What is it trading at level of volume? So we'll look at those structures. You're going to have to do some thinking for yourself. I will also be looking at the comments on my second screen right there. Yes, indeed. I want to hear from you. We'll be asking questions. We want your comments in the live stream. Also ask me questions and chat. Keep them interesting and entertaining if you can. Many of them are naturally that way. You've been a good crowd and we appreciate that. Also 75 likes for 309 watching. that's a reasonable amount. That means about 30% of you think it's pretty cool to have a channel without ads. It's pretty cool to have a guy that comes and tells you about Binance Coin the day before it goes up about 200%. But the rest of you think that sucks. So that's okay. I'm sorry we upset you. Hopefully we can do better. But good to be with you and smiling into the weekend. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. Every day is Friday in my life. A little bit of trading, a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of everything. Who knows? But glad to have that existence. Building wealth in reset times. It's happening, guys. It's happening. Before I even go into the charts, let me just say to you, the traders will be the ones that win here. Anybody who does a real job, who does anything that produces value, you're going to get killed. This is not the community or the society for you. We are destroying the dollar at such a rate that it's all long, soft commodities, everything. I think the only thing not going up is gold at the moment. You're going soybeans, everything. The Market Sniper channel. Don't forget to go over there and subscribe. Be very wise. You want to stack a little bit of physical silver as well. I'm telling you, those things will suddenly become right. They'll be wrong for ages and suddenly become right. Crypto is good though. Crypto is good, and that's what this channel is about. But the key point is understanding the macroeconomics. Everything deflating in terms of currencies, big ass UBI, whatever, anyone who's on a salary, you're being paid less every month. While Bitcoin is here pumping at $53,806, as I'm telling you, a nice belt hold day, it's really, really moving. People should be in the net long. This is the society they have created. This is happening now. It's broken cover, you know. There's a couple of leopards in the bush there, guys. You've seen them. They're no longer camouflaged. You should be net long. To sit with cash is to die. Let me say that again. If you're holding cash balances in your account, it's to die. That doesn't mean you should have nothing but a cent in your account. Obviously, you have day-to-day needs. You have day-to-day. Any major significant money is going down at a rapid rate. The fiat proliferation, the hyperinflation is coming. Let me tell you, I've got monthly macro setups, and I'm going to do this on Market Sniper, from Robusta coffee to the Chinese stock composite index to all sorts of things. Everything to the moon. What does this mean? It doesn't mean that everything's become real valuable. It just means what we're measuring it in is becoming real trash. And everybody is realizing it roundabout at the same time and getting into it. So whatever you thought Bitcoin can do, it's going to do more. Whatever you think crypto can do, it's going to do more than you think. You're going to get out too soon. You're going to call tops too soon. It's an automatic thing when something has gone up so much. But you've got to divide it by the M2, the money supply. You've got to forget their fake inflation rate. You've got to work on John Williams' shadow stats. Silver's never been cheaper in the last century. And in some ways, Bitcoin that you think has done a lot has got even more to go. And the crypto market and even the stinky stoink market. There is too much proliferation. Anyway, so with that in mind, let's get a little look at the market cap and just show you who the big stars are of the moment. And then we'll go straight into the charts and start analyzing. Are the second tier going to have a bit of a catch-up weekend? This is the question I'm asking. After, and believe you me, as I said, it's not particularly cool tokens to be talking about. It's about making money. Okay, so here we go. We go up to the coin market cap. Wanted to just show you Binance 313 hit 348 earlier. Little bit of a blow off. It is not the time. The guys that said it's late, now it's late. Yesterday, it wasn't late. Now it's late. So there's a bit of a fizzle, very high volatility. It's done an immense amount. Blam! That thing was down at about 10 billion market cap. And next thing you know, you wake up and you look at and it's 48. And it would have crossed into the 50s, 50 billion. Wow, that is a mover. That came out. I mean, it surprised me how much it's done as well. I'll tell you that much. Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, Ethereum, a little bit dull and sick. Why is that? Don't forget, we have the FBTC. And we've said on the macro, note the macro, because you have a macro better part of 2-year inverted head and shoulder. On the macro, it's likely that Ethereum is going to overperform and go to 6.6%. Has it been overperforming now? No, it's been fart-arsing around by the 4% value, and actually it's below on that value. And why is that happening? It's being stalled, it's being delayed, because some of these other tokens in the platform space are eating its dinner for now. DOT, ADA, and now BNB is surged into number 3, even ahead of stablecoin Tether. So you've actually got a lot going on in that gas problem being too expensive. But when Ethereum fixes that, who has the network effects, they will then have their surge. Right now, people are looking at them and saying, we ain't saying you're owning this space yet. There's other people knocking on the door who says there'll only be one. You can have many operating systems. You have Apple operating systems, Windows, Linux, etc. So Ethereum's got to prove, and people are asking questions about what it's got to prove. XRP has dropped to 7. So it's fallen behind BNB, ADA, Polkadot, and it was typically most occasions behind Tether, but occasionally ahead of, well behind Ethereum and Bitcoin. At one point, it traded number 2 behind Bitcoin XRP, ahead of Ethereum. Now it's 25 billion versus 221. In the 3, 4, 5 years, I don't even know when I started Crypto Sniper channel, I said bias against Ripple when you had the choice. Remember, this was 2 ahead of Ethereum for a reasonable spell. And that's how it would have paid you. Stay out of Ripple. So many people, Ripple fans, maybe it'll suddenly become central bank coin and do a Binance on us. But so far, so good, keeping you out of Ripple. Then we have Litecoin, the kind of friendly Bitcoin that's not fighting with Bitcoin. And it's kind of there or thereabouts, but there's no real new investment going in. So it's kind of holding a space. It's actually stayed in. It was falling out and it's had a little bit. We'll show you Litecoin because it is already in a kind of break part of the way. We'll show you Link, which we think is interesting and is going to do well. And we will be showing you BitcoinCash and Stellar. So a lot of these tokens right here, drawing with a pen. We're going to go and do the chart. So enough talk. We're done with market cap. Let's go to the chart. Let's have a check-in on what Bitcoin's doing first. Mighty Bitcoin. So there was I saying, maybe he'll squeeze again. This is the land of the rising wedges. So what do I assume? Next wedge. When you start to have a little bit of a stall there, I started assuming maybe he's going to give us the next wedge. Wrong. What does he do? Bzzzt. He pops right out of the top there. So it's strong. It's strong. That was kind of a falling wedge in there. And a just small amount of squeeze. Comes and sits back on. Bounces on the roof of the previous one and just goes new high. So you have a leg, a falling wedge, and another leg. That's great. That's Bitcoin. He's in great shape. And at the moment, Ethereum is losing ground to him. But remember, that's a macro setup, that inverted head and shoulders. And some guys, but you said Ethereum's got to do more, faster, better. Over the long time, it gets to 6.6 on balance of probabilities. Could a pattern fail? Yes. Does a lengthy multi-year pattern fail? Not usually. Not usually. The probabilities are in your favor. So it's a long battle. Don't let the first skirmish dictate everything. We'll see. Maybe Ethereum will open up space on DOT, ADA, BNB in time. So let's get into some of the setups. So what about the one? I had someone in the comments saying, oh, you should be ashamed you mentioned BitcoinCash on our channel once. I was at Acapulco and Roger Ver was around. I interviewed him and I asked him about everything. And that was at the time there was great dissension in Bitcoin and the fork was just occurring. And it was all about block sizes and all the argument. And he said, increase the block sizes, do this, do that. And he gave his side. There was no one from Bitcoin to give their side. And we said, who knows? Maybe he's right. The first one doesn't have to be necessarily the main one. Very quickly, we realized the money is backing Bitcoin, not BCH. In the same way. So BitcoinCash has faded a little bit. It has faded a little bit. It doesn't have the time. BSV even more. So we're going to go look at these almost dogs of the top 10, which is maybe a bit mean to say, but they're underloved. They're not the stars. So without further ado, let's go to BitcoinCash. Remember, these are trades. Nobody's asking you to get married here. Nobody's asking you to get married. These are trades. What could catch up? Binance Coin is essentially an exchange token that's now got into smart chain and now added its sexiness into it. Have there been any developments in cash? I haven't even been staying up to date. I don't really think so. But you do have a squeeze there. You had a fake break over here that's pulled back. That kind of went a little bit with Bitcoin having a move up and then pulling back. But then Bitcoin reaffirmed and the others have all just sat back and they waited. Now, there could be a catch-up. So that's Bitcoin Cash, looking okay. What would it suggest that it would do? Well, we did do some targets for this, and I think it would take you through the $800 mark. I think it was around 813 if my memory serves me. So around 813 if it were to do it. Is it our best and our favorite? Not really at the moment in pattern structure. A little bit complex. See the axe in the head there? That first impulse, a little bit complex. So we'll pass for now. We'll go have a look at some of the others. So a quick jog past Bitcoin Cash. What about the evil twin? That was the fork of the fork. That is BitcoinSV. Now, structurally, it's a little bit simpler than Bitcoin Cash. In short, I think it's a better technical structure. But here's a couple of things you need to bear in mind on SV. It pumps spikes and then it dumps. It pumps spikes and it dumps. So do you trust it? Do you hold it? Do you make it an investment? Not for me, based on its history. That's right, not for me. Let's show you a bit of that history so that you can see the kind of things that have gone down with it. Couple of examples right there. This is never an investment token for me. It's a trading tool to shoot, and don't forget the scoot bit. That's all I'm saying. Do I know if they've got anything special going on, anything really technically smart? The market isn't illustrating that to be the case yet. So whatever they might be communicating about whatever it is they may be doing is currently not impressing compared to Binance, DOT, ADA, and other places. That's all that matters to me. The crowd mass of money says this is not your investment token. It is not in my 5x5, same as Bitcoin Cash. Could it be a shoot and scoot trade? Well, if you get your timing right and you get in and out, yes, it could. Yes, it could indeed. So I want to just show you a bit more of the history just to show you that those spikes are regular and they don't often hold on. This is against the dollar. This is against the dollar, guys, recently. This is not against Bitcoin. Should we have a look against Bitcoin or even Eth? That's what BSV looks like at Eth. That's why it's not your investment token. You take Ethereum any day. Did it have some pumps? Of course it did. Did they hold on? No, it didn't. What does it look against the mighty Bitcoin right now? Like that. Let's get a bit more space on here. There's one really, really big wick there that I wish I could eliminate. But you'll probably get the gist of this. Very similar to the Eth. Ignoring that wick, this is a perpetual lack of ability to make your case against the original Bitcoin. Some say it's not the original. Bitcoin Cash is the original. Bitcoin SV is the original. Have your fight. Do your arguments. I don't care. Is it an investment? No. Could it be a trade? Let's go back to it. Well, the point is for me, yes, it could. It could be a trade. At the end of the day, if there's money sniffing around, wondering what to do, and it decides, well, this does some of the things that the other one does, we don't want all our eggs in the basket. Remember, new people are entering the market. They're having to learn all the same new things. And some of these things might specialize and get a particular use case and find their feet and take a direction. As I said, we've seen many times before, tokens looking like they're going nowhere and then finding their mojo and getting their stuff together. This structure, technically, is better than the Bitcoin Cash structure. Does that mean I prefer Craig Wright to Roger Ver? No, no, no. It's not politics. It's not personalities. It's not anything. That is a reasonably decent structure. Got properly monkey slammed there. My personal opinion is when it gets to its target, close at least 75% because it could U-turn and plunge back down super fast. So who knows who's on the other end? Who knows who might be providing liquidity to high spikes to distribute? I don't know. That would be a conspiracy theory, of course. I know nothing, but I just see what it's done before, and I don't want to be a bag holder. So better technically, BSV. could actually be a trade for you on the weekend, whether you like to hear it or not. BSV's crap, BSV's crap. I know. Don't provoke emotions here, guys. Don't provoke emotions. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? We really don't know. Everybody who thinks they know nothing. By the way, our link shared in the comments below. Join our community. Get things first. Get in earlier. Learn how to do this for yourself. Be part of amazing setups. We're having great fun on equities as well, other markets. It's a big long season, guys, and there's many ways to skin a cat. But crypto is going to be one of the fastest horses, as you know, but that doesn't mean it's the only place you get great HVFs. And some of the others are month-long. You can park money up for ages and do just great. So we've covered Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV. Let's do something else. Litecoin. I'll maybe get less tongue stuck at me. Litecoin. So what happened with Litecoin so far? How's it looking? How's it doing? What's it doing? Well, I'll show you my take on this. There's fool's draws on our community, but I'll give you a little bit of an idea where I see this one going. It has already had a break there. And it has already started a journey. And now it's resting a little bit. This was its second interim. So you could be a limit buyer of Litecoin on any dips around about these levels if you chose. And where's it going? You can do the maths for yourself roughly, but in and around just through the 250s, other side of the 250s. Quite a reasonable move. You would have wanted to be in round about the 200s and 210s, ideally, for a 25% move, which with a bit of leverage could become quite substantial. Now you're looking at something. By the way, could they overperform? Yes. Do they have the beautiful structure of Binance Coin? No, but that doesn't mean they can't overperform a little or even a reasonable amount. Yes? So they can overperform a little and even a reasonable amount. So 250 plus could go 275, for example, could even touch 300 if you're lucky. So that's Litecoin. Basically, you know what Litecoin is. You know what you're getting, cheaper and faster. Let's have a little look. Yes, Litecoin could do 300. There's DAA, BR. And the guys want me to mention Hex. Hex, yes, I got some Hex. Tends to, when the big markets are running really hard and fast, tends to be more low. Tends to do kind of well when the other markets are okay, but not running too hard. That's my observation. Good staking returns, however. So, someone's asking about ETHC. That's Ethereum Classic. Not having a little look at that, but maybe we can have a look at it. So Litecoin, let's just have a look at Litecoin against the others. Ethereum's been a little bit slow because everyone else is eating its dinner at the moment. So let's have a look at Litecoin versus ETH. Recently, Litecoin has been gaining a bit of ground. And again, you've got an extreme wick over there. We take all prices where there was price exchange occurred. So you've actually got Litecoin looking along the lows here like it could even perform against ETH. The big thing about the Binance call we did yesterday is not only did we give you we said the first target on dollars, we showed you that Binance against Ethereum and Binance against Bitcoin also had big targets. So you could have held until the Binance Bitcoin made its target on your Binance USDT. That would have helped you with your overperformance because all three were expected to go. That would have kept you in the trade longer. Some said, oh, but you said your target is there. We said there would be overperformance. And we showed you that it was set up against the other structures. You could have waited till all three performed. You've got to learn how to do this. Best way, hit the link, come and join our community. Find out how. 360-degree analysis. Why do we do it? It's amazing. We started looking at Bitcoin Cash. We ended up spending the whole day running through all the once were heroes in the top 20. So that's a little bit of Litecoin. I think Litecoin's going to do okay. I think it's going to do okay, and I think it's going to make through 250 and possibly go up to the 300s. I think it's going to look like a pretty good weekend. We'll talk about total too, which excludes Bitcoin, and we'll have a look at that chart structure because it's got ETH and all the others in it without Bitcoin, the distorting elephant in the room. So that's Litecoin. I did look at Tezos. There have been some Tezos fans, and I wanted to highlight that bleeding up. This again could give you quite a strong target because of the descent. Your down legs also set up your reactional springs, but I will just say it's kind of grindy along the lows there. Could be a bit of a bouncy old journey. See that? A bit of a channel after that wedge into there. So the snapback rally, falling wedge to this grind line. Normally we do the grind lines in the red, change the color. A basing ascending grind line, and you've got a bit of a channel up there. But within that, you've also got, choose the gray, a little bit of a squeezy that did break. Didn't stop out, broke, feigned back, and is working its way up. So I'd expect Tezos to work its way up. It's not the shining star. Again, this isn't a Binance one. This is not my chosen one. I'm not in this one, but I'm showing you. It's okay. It's probably do okay, but it'll probably also have a moment where it might just relieve the pressure of that red maybe and cycle back before going up. Had quite a strong head and shoulder there when we took a dive. Note the smaller right shoulder there. We like to see that. Good dive, good target made. Okay, so it's quite a snapback. Never quite bounced hard enough. Should have come a little bit higher to show its snapback ability a bit more. Then eased into a wedge quite soon. So it's not my favorite, but I'm showing it to you. It's something going on. You can watch it and have a look for yourself. So Tezos and BitcoinCash, we're skipping quietly by. Funny enough, SV, if you're prepared to shoot and scoot, little bit better structure so far of the ones I've shown you. But which is the best, he says. Which is the best, they all ask. Feed me trades. Become a hunter and then a sniper. Be a spotter, a hunter, and then a sniper. That's what you can do. And hit the link, by the way. Likes, 588 watching. Thank you, delighted to have you all. We appreciate a share. No adverts on the channel, so we get demonetized down. We appreciate 205 likes as well. It also helps putting the live stream to the top of the rack. More followers, more interactivity. We're going to do more streams. Simple as that. So we'll try to bring you more events such as the Binance Move. Okay, so Tezos. We spoke a bit about it. What about the once was star, EOS? Now this is a little bit better. But, slight problem, it's already done a small amount of the break. You can see the triggering event. Can you see there's quite a lot of similar DNA, but some of them just wore it a bit better. And one of the key techniques is, how do you see which ones have shown relative strength under adversity when you've had that sell-off and can wind up again and smash it up again? How? How do you see that? That's what it's all about in HVF method, training up, up. Little channel there, little channel, and then you got smacked. That was brutal. Rising wedge, spot him, smash, down. Second impulse didn't snap back quite enough, but it was better than if you throw the fib. Let's use the fib, grab. It still got a reasonable bouncy backy. So we put up the fib, there is roughly there. This is an important tool. See the 61.8. It's reasonable in height, a little bit light in breadth, but you've got a double bottom there. So maybe the breadth could widen up. We can count the double bottom in this overall impulse relative to that overall one. I should have chosen a different color. Two and one, and then you got a little head and shoulder 3, which wasn't a head and shoulder, as many head and shoulders aren't. Went real quiet, and then that was your bump. We would have told you that was your traditional entry right there. Pulling back, a little bit of a dip back and a slow down. You could accumulate that. You're going to get quite a nice target. By the way, this was 5.6. Down here was 4.1. 4.1, 5.6, roughly 1.5. I would have you projecting that from round about the 4.8 mark. Note the 4.8, kind of you have a stall box around that. And note also the 4.8 is very close to the 50%. So you're sitting roughly there. Add 1.5 to 4.8, easy enough for most of you. You're going to be around about 6.5 minus 2, 6.3. That's off the chart in terms of potential target. So you'll get a feel for where it'll end up. Preferably buy on a dip, 6.3. It's not bad, guys. It's not bad. And it's decent structure. And you've got a 61.8 on your bounce for your second impulse. So that's quite decent. 6.3. So better than BitcoinCash, better than Tezos, which we weren't particularly excited about. This is EOS. EOS by name and nature. Slightly small here, as I say, but did enough. Got back up to the rising wedge attack for over there. Now it's gone through that. So on dips and trade for 6.3, place a stop under there, 4.6. So if you can enter somewhere there, stop there and there, it's decent. It's not exceptional, but it's decent. Okay, so the message is held for review. Oh, someone's been rude. EOS, says Johnny. Yes, that's right. That's EOS. Someone says that EOS is a dead cat bounce. Hit the likes, you ungrateful plebs, says Gab. Indeed. Thank you, Gab. Kurt Chang, EOS going to $100. Yep. So somebody says it's a dead cat bounce and another says it's $100. We're somewhere in between. We're saying first step to $100 is getting to $6.3. Let's see how we do. Then we'll see if it comes and winds up again. Okay, so that's EOS. Pretty good, but we're warming up. We're warming up. Where am I taking you? We've done BSV. Here's one. Security. Did I do ZDC? I don't think I did. So I took a little bit of this one, but watch liquidity. Watch liquidity a little bit. I'm still in the Fibos. Let's take it off. So I'm going to go up to the hourly and spell this one out for you. And it's actually, oh, go away, you fibs. So nice run up. See that trend before coming in. All crypto should be in good trend. Shouldn't forgive one that's not, but that's nice and strong coming into here. Blow off, a proper hard sell off though. So that brought you down literally to 124. Previous high, which might be the reason why you're pulling back right now. Approaching the previous high, this side of the bull market, 188. So you're talking about $64 from that low. And we would say to you, here's your structure of your setup. So that was a triggering event over here. And you're on your way to in and around 64 onto 164. We get about, what's that, another 128, 228, decent. And if you can pick it up on a return to round about these levels, let's put a green for go. 172 or lower. So you could also maybe get it anywhere in that green box. You could place a stop, engineering a trade under there, that obvious, fairly obvious technical low. That would be your risk. And you're off the charts to 220, 268. What did I say? 228. Get your maths right, Francis. 228 is what I meant to say. So let's pull that in so you can see it diagrammatically. There, up top there. So quite a decent move. I've had to flatten the chart a bit to bring that in. So once again, that could see 230 run, could see even 250 run. It depends what Bitcoin is doing, if it's supporting. If Bitcoin's doing too much, it sucks all the money out. If Bitcoin is working its way up slowly, grindingly, not selling off too violently, not going up too violently, and we're having the second tier tokens that haven't been recent stars type run, we're seeing the total 2 expand on the broader base level. Instead of the hot, bright new shiny toys, the rest of their portfolio also getting fleshed up a bit. And this could be the weekend where we get the old heroes move. Why? Because there's lots of setup structure. So there could be trickle through into some of these projects. People will be asking, what are you doing? They decide, well, they don't only want one horse in the race on platforms. They don't only want one horse in the race on security. They don't only want one horse in the race. And so you see this distribution going through. And if the tokens can make the case, they'll get some love. So ZEC is interesting because it's pulling back, which is understandable because it bulked at its previous high, which will be its highest high since the bull market started, which if we go to daily, let's get out of draw tool and go to daily. Seems to be correct. In fact, has it ever traded this high? Yes, it has in the previous bull. That's quite a strong rounded bottom, by the way. I'll change it to 3 days. That's made the chart a bit invisible. So that was the 2017 dump. That was the into the 18 highs. So that listing was crazy. I mean, that is just crazy. I would ignore all of that. I'd take that out of the scaling. Let's just remove that. Let's take that. That was listing in craziness season. So treat that as your chart. That was the whole 2017 bull run, where its highest point was $800, and we're throwing out a 228. So once again, you could overperform on that. You could go some way. And this looks like it's put in a good final bottom and not failed to make new lows and making higher lows after making lower lows. So technically, it could be the beginning of the upside of the uplift. What do you guys think of Zcash? What do you guys think of security coins? Someone saying refinance. Hail to the king. 100k BTC by the end of the year. I think it might come sooner at this rate, bud. It's February and you're at 50k. Atomic, yeah, some guys like Atom. Litecoin, Troy, Zil, shouts a lot of people. Royce's 2 cents. Ever since PayPal added Litecoin. Yeah, Litecoin has been strong as a result of that. Okay, let's go into the one I probably think is my current favorite. So we showed you ZEC, we showed you the setup. It's walking its way out, though, I would say. So it's staircasing. It's not a runaway. You're not going to get, I don't think you're going to get the Binance type moonshoot. It's very rare you walk your way out, those. They go very, very strongly. We should, of course, have a look again at the Binance's progress. You'll see how it went. But once it started, it just kept going. It kept going. That was on juice. This is staircasing its way. So it'll walk its way up to target potentially and a little bit more. Not necessarily. It's not going to be unfortunately, the Binance type moves are a rarity. And you were either in it or you weren't. And that's it. You can FOMO about it. So let's go to the one at the moment I currently like most. Oops, and it's moving. It's like Binance, it's moving. We were talking about it all day. So the community guys got in before you. Oh dear. Time you booked a link. Got a chat. It's looking good. Hit the link, book a chat. I can't speak. I need a drink of water. Someone. So this is the link. Let's get that in on 1 hour. This is why we like it. It's technical. It is moving nicely now. It's my favorite of all of these at the moment, but it has now moved. You guys have to bear that in mind. Oh, it just tastes better in a mug like this. Yeah. Sniper mugs. Maybe I'm the sniper mug. Grab from up top here down to there. Gives you good amplitude. It's going to move quite a long way. It's got a really strong snapback, second impulse that I really like. So you're learning something about form while we're talking. And then a very chilled 3, flatten. Can you see that structure? Violent, high volatility, blow off, hard down, good snapback, real strength. That would have taken you through the 76.8 and then down, 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 and then a chilled, already flattening, calming out 3, and then a break. And we were getting in on the second chance as well as on the initial break. And now it seems to be surging quite nicely. It seems to be surging quite nicely. Where's it going? Roughly, where is he going? Well, give you a small idea. We're at about that touch. The nice thing about that big dip wick, which would have flushed out so many people, 27.5 up to 35 and a half, call it. So it's about 8. It's just over 8, and you would be at about 32.5. You're going for 41 at least, I would say, on Link. And I would say there's a reasonable chance of overperformance. So that's up top here where I'm putting my candle. So here's your weekend altcoin calls, courtesy of the man who wants to see you build wealth. Even though you don't want to hit the like button and you don't want to give him a share. He still loves you. He still loves you because, you know, people are people and sometimes they want to do something and sometimes they don't. But this is going to be a potentially very good mover over the weekend. This is my current favorite. My current favorite. So you're rewarded for staying online. 661 of you come online. Love it. Thank you very much. For the new guys coming in, thank you for the 50% likes. Totally appreciated. 1 share. Totally appreciated. We're calling for, you've come at the best moment if you've just arrived, ChainLink for through the $41 mark at the moment. It is 35 now. As I say, we were lucky enough to get the second chance move there. And a few early entries there, but there's still quite a bit in it. If you're prepared to take a stop, which is slightly more risky at the 33.5, you could indeed get in now and you could still have quite a decent risk reward fundamental. I'll draw it for you. It's not a recommendation. This is not a financial advice. This is an entertainment channel talking about trading in crypto and other asset classes on the Market Sniper. Don't forget to sub there as well. Where's our Americans? Where's everybody from today? Let's take some of the pens out. Where's our Texans? Have you built snowman for me? How's the heating situation? Do you think it's a plot? Was it a Biden plot? He pulled on you. It's a risk-reward ratio of 4, guys. It's a risk-reward ratio of 4. By the way, I'd only close about 60% on this one, and I'd leave a little bit on. So this is one I would leave a little bit on. We have a method for overperformance managing. You guys can discretion trade it until you've learned how to do that. Link below. Alex and my support team will share it for you in there. You can book as you need. But this is probably the nicest one for the weekend, I would say. Probably the nicest, and already showing it. In the time that we went live, it's gone from its second chance and it's already started running up. So contemplate the virtues of Link for a little bit of upside over the course of this weekend. Total 2. So let's look at the aggregate. What should be happening? And also, waiting for your comments inside. I will do 2 or 3 special requests from tokens from you guys as a technical assessment, which you can make of it what you like. And then that'll be the end of the stream. So total 2. It is the aggregation of all alts. And we are saying to you that in of itself was an alt long. Now we've dropped a time frame and we've funneled it out over there. So you actually have quite a big structure over here. And you've been in a bit of a bull market, and I think you're about to blow off and finish, which will see a lot of these make the ground. So it's a good time. It's a good time for alts, although it's already done a fair amount. Remember, a lot of this has got Ethereum in it, so Ethereum is quite a big part of that. You can't help or change that. It's about 18% of all crypto, and where Bitcoin is about 63. So if you're taking Bitcoin out at 63, it's about 40%, 45% of what's left. So it's a really, really big part of this total market cap. on total too. But nonetheless, with Ethereum relatively underperforming, this chart is still going up. It's going up on the likes of DOT, BNB, ADA, and the various others that have run up, and the DeFi tokens, Aave, etc., etc. But there's been some laggards that have really fallen down the board. I didn't look at XRP, but it is not worthy of seeing. I can tell you it doesn't look too interesting unless there's a sudden spike out of the blue, for which nobody has any information. It's the biggest token that I didn't cover. Let's put it in, XRP. But as I've said, and I will continue to say, it continues to disappoint in terms of it. Remember what I said to you about Ethereum, that they were dueling it out at one point. That is just not interesting. It would go up, I'm sure. If the rest of the market's going up, you can see there has been some tactical support on the dying grind line. You can see the support buying on the wick. Again there, again there. But the chasing up is not high. Just tactical buying along the lows for now. Little bit of a spike in that. There's nothing in there. There's nothing in that. Can it have gone a little bit up? It's not going to do what I think Link will do this weekend. And it's not going to do what I thought Binance would do a week ago. It's just not going to do it. So don't bother. So let's have a look at your tokens. So somebody says Quantum. I've had a look at that one. It's not particularly interesting. A couple of guys had a look at it. It's also quite, it's been around a while, and it is also quite light liquidity. Something you should bear in mind. I'll look at it again because you've asked for it. You see, in comparison to Link, what I was just saying, one massive impulse and then a week. That's your blow off. You can see a rising wedge into a blow off. That's a transition. We're teaching about transition and the many acts of price behavior. This is an advanced topic in our community. That's a transition point. That was a major key inflection point, sniper there. Then you went blow off. Then you went descending triangle. Then you went spiller. That's a key level. You spilt, you stayed under it, and you've crept slowly up to it, and you're still messing around in and around that level. Do I want to be in that? No. Is it crap? Is it going to do nothing? No, but there's just better things around. So technically, no. Also got a little bit of a rising wedge. It can pop out the top of that and go for it real strong again. But that descending triangle, it's almost like the gold market in 2011. That descending triangle top. So not particularly interesting. Monero. Yes, we like Monero. I don't need too much encouraging to check in with Monero. In principle, its positioning is what we like. Let's see if we like it technically. There hasn't been a moment that I've actually said technically it's great. I look forward to the day. No, that was not what I asked for. Gave me a stinky stoink. A stinky stoink. I want a crypto. Okay, give me Phoenix. That'll do. So that was a good moment. It's kind of kept itself in the top 20. That was a good moment there. What's it doing now? Well, let's just get that time zone a little bit spread out. Let's get it into 30 minutes. It's messy. It's a little bit messy, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I think it's going to keep itself in the top 20. That's what it's going to do. Is it going to be an outperformer? No, it could just break out of that and get somewhere up above the 300 levels again. If it holds this structure okay, it could be Monero through the 300 levels. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Not quite the scale of the move of what I put forward on Link in terms of percentage to go from 267 to say 300, but you know, it's better than a kick in the backside. Elrond says Marais. C. Marais wants Elrond. So let's do Elrond.
Let's take a look at
Matic and Elrond. Okay, so we will have a look at Matic and Elrond. Then I'll do one more after those two. So you've always got to start with a bigger time frame. Way big old pump there. So that was great. It was one of the sketchiest upside HVFs I've seen, like sort of double top first impulse to there. So that's all your first impulse. Then that's sort of your first impulse. One. Then new color in yellow. That's two. You guys want to learn HVF method that you won't trade anything else. You just won't bother. That was your entry. That was your stop. That's where you are today. Who'd want a bit of that? I didn't put this up here. Your guy did. That's what it does for you. Buy at 0.015, which is 1.5 cents, and be 12 cents today. Very nice. So that was a great story in terms of its move up. So well done on that if you were involved in that. Good shout. Let's drop down. So we need to have a look at the here and now. Also, lots of invitation chances for you to get in on Elrond. They don't all rip straight from the get-go. That was a break. You see you broke, you came back, sort of lazy falling wedge back to roughly your break level. Then you just started gaining in momentum. Then you squeezed again, gaining momentum, blow off. And you're a whole bunch higher. See that? So, you know, you can't always control how quickly it does something. You might have sat from, is it Jan 25? But then it would have started getting over February 4. You know, you would have held it for a week and thought, what am I doing? I'm still roughly where I got in. But it's a falling wedge. It's telling you. It's just squeezing again. It doesn't want to go lower, basing out, and then goes. That's it. The market decides these things. You've just got to make sure you're putting yourself in him. Nice trade. So what about now is the question. The question the man asks. Talk to me around the future for Elrond at this juncture. So it's not as good as our link now. That doesn't mean it won't be again in time. It's just not as good right now. What I would actually most like for our Elrond holders, in terms of making some money on Elrond, would be actually for it to come off a bit, which is not what you want to hear. You just want love and light and only up. The thing is, the more you allow for down, the better you set up for the up. It's kind of like day's only useful if you have night. You know what I mean? Imagine how bedazzled you'd get if you never had some darkness and some shut-eye. So that kind of went up in a channel more than that diagonal. I would quite like it to just drift off a little bit for you.
That's Matic.
That's Matic. Did I call it Elrond? Sorry guys. I typed Matic, clicked on Matic and called it Elrond. Apologies. We're looking at Matic. Everything I just said applied to Matic, not Elrond. Thanks for the correction. My apologies for confusing people. This is Matic. Repeat after me. Matic, Matic, Matic. Okay, good structure. Great structure, but early. It's not a buy and chase now. If you want to be in this baby, you want to be early, I would suggest you have. Wait for it. Key round and numbers. Should always draw your key round numbers. Which is going to be the most important key round number on something at this level? 0.1. Welcome to Bitcoin 50,000, 10,000 and 100,000. 0.1 for Matic. And what's it doing? It's winding up, just running. I think you're going to get another 0.1 touch. Maybe trade a cent or two below. If you could enter that on 99, I'd probably take it. That would be quite a deep drawdown. Maybe you need to be at a bit above. But I think you'll touch it on a wick. You have such a big level, it's rare that you leave it just with one breakthrough and one retrace back. Look how you've interacted with it here, there, and there. I think one more thinner touch, but maybe you don't. Maybe you don't, and if it supports somewhere here, you won't be wrong for buying it there if you can get it there. Then you want to see it drift up and settle, and then you should be ready for a big shoot. So it's interesting enough for me to mark it and say I'm ready to come back to this one. Notify me if it comes down here. I get interested, and if it goes above that secondary high there, so that I know it's in a break state.
Please take a look at
Stellar Lumen. I was supposed to do Lumen and I didn't do it. I lied to you. I teased you and then left it out. So we'll do Stellar. And then we'll actually do the Elrond. The real Elrond. Would the real Elronds please stand up? He sure is standing. He's a big boy. Yep, that's Elrond. I know nothing about this token, although I have seen it a couple of times in the market cap and people are tweeting about it. And obviously some early guys have made absolute bombs. Allow me to just log scale that, because when you have a big move like that, it's a little bit distorting. We can take more of the chart in. Again, another key gift. You shouldn't be trading anything else, folks. Even that you can argue. That's all my mind sees. Volatility squeezes and pumps. Look at that little falling wedge. But supported at a key round number, 46. Right now, not interesting. This is a very weak response to the sell-off here. This looks a bit overheated. I think you'll be able to buy it sub 100 again. Some point, if you want it, and maybe lower still. But great, obvious technical bull market with many great setups on the way up. It's just not your dog right now. That's the game. So, Lumen, 681 watching. That's awesome. One day we'll get 1,000. One day. How are you guys doing? Where are you checking in from? Talk to me. Talk to me, Tony. Your name, Tony Montana. Meet my little friend. Yeah, so Lumen, this is again on a log scale. So Illuminator, the bearer of the light, the satanic one, that was a bit of a falling wedge. That was a very flat bottom structure. I remember watching that one and saying, will it trade? It broke. We were watching it, and then it kind of fizzled, went to sleep, and then went up. So it did perform in the end, but it was a weird structure. It was very flat. So that's what you get. You get messed around, but you end up making money if you're patient. I'll put it on regular so that it looks more like the others. So we did look at this. What did we say? Some of the same things I've said about the other tokens. The snapback after the sell-off wasn't very strong, pointing to relative weakness. Relative. There's bigger, better ones. Compare Link structure right now to that structure. And then you got that big ass grind line break, spill, grind line break, spill. Got a big impulse, but then that's your rebound little pippy. It's a bit soft. It's kind of like someone takes a run up and smacks you through their head with a baseball bat, and then after you're picking yourself up off the ground, you flick his nose with a celery stick. It's just not quite cutting it, you know, as a response. It's a little bit meh. Okay, so you don't want to do that one, but it could limp a little bit upwards. That doesn't mean it's a bear call. It could limp a little bit upwards, but this feels a bit like a slap in the face for it. Too harsh a setback. Feels a little bit like a flat, so it could bleed up. You know, it had that very descending structure. It kind of bled out of it upwards, but no Binance pump. Okay, I don't think there's any that's going to give you what we gave you yesterday, by the way, here. But there could be a little bit of overperformance in our friend. Let's go back to him. Link. Could be a little bit, but it's got a wick. It's already almost to defy us. It's got a little bit of a selling wick already. So it had a little bit of a push up, and then as soon as it got into these higher levels, it's going to run into likely a bunch of selling. I shouldn't use green, should I? It's not the smartest trick. We know TG Pink's our color. So a little bit of clearance to do there. Don't forget, these are all-time highs since the last bull. So they're not all-time highs, but they are post 18 highs to be run. So shooting star, we're thinking about it. We're a bit tired. That's good for you guys that are not in, potentially. It's good for you guys that are not in. That might mean Bitcoin is easing back a little bit. Let's have a look at Link Eth. Did I show you Link Eth? This was relative values. So against Ethereum, Link has been giving up ground for a while. Ethereum hasn't been that great recently, but it was great a while back. A little bit of a falling wedge break that, you see. So give you a little bit of a pump, but sometimes you get a return move before you go. So that could be Eth starting to get going a little bit, or it could be Link just coming off against the dollar and everything. It's a little bit of a shooting star here. But overall, out of that, you would expect an upside move, which will support our target being made in dollars. What about Link BTC? Now, BTC is a very hard taskmaster. You saw how he was going up. Most things do terribly. On this time frame, it's not wildly bullish. There's a little bit of a either way risks. Could have a bit of a risk of a broadening structure. That could have a downside continuation there. Such a hard taskmaster, Bitcoin. Or it could be a bottom. But normally you don't angle in bottoms and then grind up. So this needs to square up a bit and maybe set up some structure to break up. So I don't see it easily beating Bitcoin short term. But that could mean Bitcoin's still going up and they're both going up together and holding that level together. So most things right now on this 2 hourly against Bitcoin. Bitcoin doing the business. Bitcoin is doing the business. So what do you guys think about these second tier, once were heroes, alts? Could there be a bit of catch up? Could there be a bit of trickle across, a little bit of broadening out? Could some people be backing their third and fourth horses here? Why is it happening? Some folk want some Dash. I had a look at Dash. So we'll do Dash and we'll finish on Dash as your final little look. And that will be the last of the lot. Who wants to see Dash? Let's do it for you. We had some structure on it in our community that we were talking about. Let's try that again. There it is. So the one thing that worried me, we were talking and we were in this fella. Little bit thin volume. I ended up deciding that the volume for me wasn't quite enough to put easily 6-digit figure in. So that was your break, 270. You've got a nice fall back here. That gives you amplitude. You're at about 195 to about almost 300 here. Call it 200 to 300. You've got $100 from around the 260 mark. You've got 360 in sight, with a little bit of overperformance probably up there. But the problem you have is this has now done a large part of it. Revisits, note the revisit and the second chance and then the push. Now it's pulling back. So you would be at your second interim now, which is the reason why you're having a rest. But I think it will probably do a decent chance of it doing 360. It just, do you want to chase in at 309 for 60? Where are you going to put your stop? Down here, 270. That's not a risk reward ratio that snipers take. You know, maybe a 1:1.5. Not good. And this was slightly ascending as well. So this has fizzle risk. What is fizzle? It could just make the second interim and die. We like more symmetry. So it's a little bit high slung. You'll learn about high slung, low slung when you do a program. Good. Anything else? Anything last? When's reset, Sniper? Says the guys. Yep, we need to make some time. Those we typically do on weekends. Haven't had a while, and that everything we've saying is happening on reset, I'm afraid. For all the people that say we got it wrong.
Can you handle ICX or Riot? You can choose one.
Riot.
Riot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it is a BTC 56K, says somebody. We got to have a look at that. That's BCH. No such luck for him. Look at that, selling off. Told you I didn't quite like him. It's not the best structure. I wonder if Bitcoin's eating his dinner. BTC 54. Wow. Look at that spike. The boss is talking. 54.8. So that's great. Okay, so yeah, happy to see that. So we'll do one more, last one. Riot. It's going to be something I know nothing about. This will be technical only. That's an equity, is it?
No, it's a coin.
Well, what is the code? What is the code if you want your coin?
I think that, oh,
I'll do Ethereum Classic while we wait for the code for that one, because Riot isn't coming up.
it's a stock that risen 23%.
Okay, so by the way, so these on a Market Sniper, we'll be doing something on special purpose acquisition companies. They've been called scams. It's basically where money's been raised to invest. Actually, there's a lot of HVF setups on those trading. Some of them are investing in blockchain, some of them in biotech, life extension, all of these things. They're quite low liquidity, but you can even get options on some of them. And there's some big HVS. We are mining them. We're looking at them. This is all part of the project you could be in with our community of band of brothers and sisters for that matter, and all the other genders. But it's very interesting. I think actually, despite the hatred that's being sent towards SPACs, SPAC, special purpose acquisition companies, there's a lot of smart head monies that are raising cheap money for next to nothing, because the banks only lend to the super wealthy. So you get Charamanath, is that his name, the Asian gentleman? He's created one called iPod. There's others that are leading it up. And what are they doing? They're just buying up the tech. And trust me, they'll go up. So if you're interested in things that want to go up in equities, some of them going up like cryptos, you will be able to see it. Ethereum Classic is one of those alts that is a similar type structure. A little bit better than Bitcoin Cash. Look at that beautiful head and shoulders, except for that wick, of course. That's higher than the head in the end. That one wick is a bit of a spoiler, but that was just beautiful. Again, though, it only rallied back up to the neckline. You see the key levels of significance, key round number, $16. So it is a bit of a laggard. It is a bit of a laggard, but it could do okay. It could do okay. The bad news for you is it broke. The good news is it's come back in. So you can have a stop there if you like, and you could be a buyer there. You're hoping these still can perform. I mean, it's not saying it won't make target. It's just the odds are a little bit less good. But if we're having a bull market, which Bitcoin seems to... Bullish weekend, guys. All of these things in setups was telling me bullish weekend. And you can see Bitcoin just... He doesn't know any limits. 50, 55, just about over here. That went as high as 18 over there and as low as 13. So for me, down here, you're looking at around 20, which is off the screen on possible target for Ethereum Classic. And it is back in its box. You can have it for cheaper than your traditional entry. And there's a decent chance it makes it. Look, it had a good blow off here. It shows it can go if it wants to go. What number is it now in market cap? So it can go. It's not bad, but it's a little bit heavy hung, and that second impulse, it's a little bit of a celery stick to the nose after getting clobbered with a baseball bat. A little bit. Not the worst example. It's got some breadth from that low one to the low two. This was quite high and narrow, which is okay. Pump, head and shoulder, dump. Very much a monarch head and shoulders. Yeah, you see a little crown on top there? You'll learn all about this stuff. Phraseology and names you won't get anywhere else because it's our theory. It's our observation about technical analysis. We love charts. We are the best technical analysis guys in the business for macro, big picture view. We're calling this the big long, guys. Everything is going up. Commodities, everything, crypto, everything. It's the currencies being devalued. This is the UBI coming, the reset. It's all going down. You need to be net long. I'm going to finish this where I started it. You need to be net long, otherwise your capital is dying. There's lots of places. It isn't only crypto, by the way, and some things will play catch up. Some tech investments will go up like crypto as well. So you don't only have to be crypto, but crypto is a very good place to be. There's a lot of fast horses. Even the second tier that we're talking about here, some of them are looking like they're going to run. Link looks my best at the moment, but it's already progressed a fair amount. You could have a bite or a nibble at Ethereum Classic. You're not very far away with your stop there above of 14, and you can buy it at 15, and you're looking for 20s and a bit of overshoot. You could close half, 60%, and you might get a bit of overshoot. With this kind of weekend coming, I like the weekend for longs. Binance has set the tone. Its structure setting up from last week. You could have been watching that from last week. Instead of hearing about it yesterday, and you could have been in it. For those that were, congratulations if you were. Many thought it's too late at $142. No, you weren't, but no one could have told you that it was going to overperform by that much. Nobody knows that, not even me. We get a lot wrong. This is technical analysis. We look at what the money shows us the people are doing. Where is the relative strength so that you can continually be putting yourself on one of the fastest horses for the next 3 days. That's what we're hoping to give you. One of the fastest horses over the next 3 days. We told you who was the runaway one yesterday. So thank you for coming on. We appreciate the shares. We love that you gave us 448 likes. We truly appreciate that. We really appreciate the 4 dislikes as well. And leave your best 5 comments in the channel below. I'll answer to the best 5. Report anybody with my face giving WhatsApp group numbers or phones. Protect people from scams. Not everyone is smart as you. And let's see how we do. Let's see how we do this weekend. Tell me your favorite token for growth between now and Wednesday, midweek next week. Which of the tokens will have gone up highest percentage in your best view between now and then? I will tell you, and I will respond my favorites, and I'll give you a little look-see. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great weekend. Book a call. Link below. Our guys are available on weekends. For less than 0.2 of a Bitcoin, you could be in a community for a year doing all of this and marching your way forward. We haven't moved our dollar prices in ages, and it's just getting cheaper and cheaper in terms of Bitcoin. We're going to have to review that. So, while stocks last, buy now. Okay, thank you very much. Have a great evening, great weekend as well. Bye-bye.